Shut up and sit down.
I believe you have my stapler.
Bicycle man. Bicycle man.
I have people skills. I am good at dealing with people. Can't you understand that?
Bicycle man.
We are still not quite sure why, but you are listening to the
Wait for it.
300th episode of the Dialed Podcast with Matt LeGrand, Evan Price, Lance Hepler, and Jake Von Turing. You must really enjoy suffering.
He's a bicycle man.
Looks like you've been missing a lot of work lately.
I wouldn't say I've been missing it, Bob.
Bicycle man. He's a bicycle man.
I'm one of those guys that really just doesn't like podcasting. When people podcast, when people do what I'm doing right now, like exactly what I'm doing right now.
Hi, and welcome back to the Dial Podcast. I'm Jake Von Turing, and I'm sitting here with Lance friggin' Hepler.
Lance friggin' Hepler. Welcome to the show. Here we are. We have a live studio audience today. Okay, I'm just gonna shut up.
He's just stopping with him. Just typical Lance.
I'm sitting right in the center, in the middle.
You're the star of the show, Lance.
Star in my own mind.
I feel like, yes, you should keep rolling. Ignore Jake and keep rolling because it is a live
keep going,
show.
Jake. You're right.
And who's next to Lance?
To Lance's right, Mr. Matt LeGrand.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen of the internet? You guys look pretty damn fantastic.
Lovely.
Old and broken. It's the beer goggles.
You look good. You guys look good. You look really good. And
to Matt's right, Mr. Evan Price.
Special guest.
Special guest.
for this podcast.
Evan Price.
What is Matt drinking? That's really all I care about. Barrel aged years,
Okay,
Matt. Give us the years.
Okay, so most importantly, there's 3 liquid death drinks at the table, and there's one guy that's got 3 alcoholic drinks at Ben's Bottle Shop, live at Ben's Bottle Shop. This is the 2002 edition of their dark
You don't even
oak
remember
barrel
the name of the beer.
and then the 2001 edition, and this is the COVID edition. And,
2020
yeah,
edition?
yeah, you can really taste the difference.
I'm sure you
can
can.
taste the COVID
Yeah,
on this one. So there's that.
Thank you for schooling us on that,
That's
Matt.
what we're sipping.
Okay.
That's what we're sipping today,
Mr.
gentlemen.
friggin' Hepler, why don't you tell us what's going on right now, since you were so eager and chomping at the bit to do that.
Okay, none of this is rehearsed. We actually don't even normally come up with topics before we sit
Shut
down
up,
to
Lance.
talk.
We spent all night last night on
We always mess it
FaceTime.
up. But yes,
Hours and hours rehearsing.
we are recording our 300th podcast.
300.
It is nearly 5 years. Please applause.
Thank you.
Play the applause track.
We
never
are
know.
we are here with a live studio audience. We have done this every 100 episodes or so, which has been fantastic. We are in Ben's Bottle Shop in Vancouver, Washington, in one of their private event rooms, and we've got 150 people here.
well over 150 people. I mean, sea of people, really.
But yeah, thank you all for coming and for being here and for supporting this dumb little show we do. And we're just happy that you're all here. So, hooray,
Absolutely.
applause again. Thank you.
Thank you.
That's my fans.
Pretty cool stuff. Hey, I got a quick question for you. We kind of changed the format up a little bit earlier this year, and we had a couple people give us a little bit of feedback on that. I'm curious. We've got people here that we can actually poll. By show of hands, do you guys like the back pedal up front, or do you guys like it at the back end of the show? Show of hands for up front, if you like it first.
If you like it first,
Really?
back pedal,
That's
okay.
pretty-
Okay, so that's a mix.
overwhelming.
All right. And then the opposite direction where we do news first, where people get the information that they asked for first.
Only Cassie.
We got one.
I think Cassie gets a few votes, though, right?
Cassie
Only
does
one.
get a lot of votes. Okay.
All right, well, I guess by popular demand, let's jump into the back pedal, boys. It's been a long time since we've done this podcast.
It's been 3 days. It's been 3 days.
Perfect, Wes. Thank you. We're getting some good info, some good questions for later on.
Matt LeGrand, you generally go first in the back pedal.
I do. I always go first.
Kick us off.
Back pedal. I think I've swam, biked, and run in the past 3 days since we've actually done this podcast.
Wow.
So there's that. Today's run was a beautiful 5K PR for one of the
Mr.
podcast favorites, David Goodman. Ran with him today, just a couple hours ago. It was good. Good times were had. Surprise to no one. I ran on Heritage Trail along the lake. That's where I spend my time.
Gotcha. You didn't finish up the cross season today with the last Cross Crusade race?
I did not.
Doing some cyclocrossing?
I did not.
No? Not
yeah.
this? No, had to miss this one?
There's probably some sort of me trying to do cyclocross clip. But don't worry about it. No.
There's probably some audio in there.
Sucked. Crashed a couple times.
No, we don't need this.
Great. Yes, I'm not good at this. And I thought I was going to be good.
You were great, though.
I was great. In fact, I probably won that race. No. Yeah, I tried cyclocross. It didn't work out for me so well, but running, and I biked on Zwift.
Good for you.
Yeah.
That's too bad.
I know.
Evan Price.
Tell us, backpedal.
What's up with you, Evan? Since we last saw you,
You were like really injured last time.
Yeah,
we
I thought
saw
you were
and then
gonna
all of
have,
a sudden you weren't injured.
You're
again.
like, I'm going to be on the podcast every week, guys, because I'm
Hipectomy and
injured.
Blade Runner. And
I unbroke myself and then had to panic train as much as possible to get ready for a race in 3 weeks from now.
Which
yeah.
can we take? Is it just me that thinks you probably shouldn't be racing after like tearing your labrum?
No, I will be fine. So after my last race, which was Michigan, which was the last podcast I was on, and then I lied and said I'll be on one every single week, and then I
That was a month and a half ago.
aggressively started swimming and biking as much as I humanly could on Thursdays. So I got a diagnosis. I had a labral tear and a hip flexor tendinopathy thing, but that was the best answer because it was not a stress fracture.
Which is better than breaking your bone, right?
Yeah. So worked back into running as quickly and appropriately and smart as I could, realizing I had one more race this year. I was originally going to race Ironman Florida with Josh, who absolutely went out there and crushed it, but I could not get myself ready for a marathon in time. I will be ready for a half marathon.
You feeling okay?
Oh yeah.
You think this is gonna be fine?
Yeah, we'll be fine for the race.
You can run a hard workout and you feel nothing in the hip.
I wouldn't say I feel nothing. This is a long season. I am feeling everything. Many things hurt right now, but it is.
After this race, are you taking a break?
Yeah, I'll take a week down and then kind of get ready for next season, which will be a big season for.
You're not
us,
you're not a big downtime guy.
I don't like long off seasons. No, I'm not a fan of long off seasons.
I think your down week is 40 hours of training.
No, not even close. I will take a week and probably not run for 1 week, which will be great. So,
and the next race is in 3 weeks. Michigan, as you said?
3 weeks. Michigan was the race that I got injured right after, and then this is in Palm Springs, La Quinta.
Okay.
Yeah.
La Quinta.
Yeah.
A half.
Yes, a half.
Very good.
You got a full schedule for next year?
I will probably attempt a full next year.
You gotta break my PR. Break my times. You're 0 for 1.
I'm 0 for 1 on attempting that. Yeah. I will never do a time trial Ironman again. That was a terrible idea. But yeah.
we should plan one of those.
No, we should.
For you three, yeah.
John
who's
will
going
do
to
it
swim,
with
who's
us.
going to bike, and who's going to run.
Cassie, John, Cassie, they're in. We got a lot of people in here that'll.
They'll smoke you guys. I got my money on John and Cassie
awesome.
for that one.
I know,
yeah.
me too. Me too.
Yep.
Yeah.
Backpedal
For me, the big thing that happened, we had our Michael Myers Memorial Ride on Saturday, which was fantastic.
How was the weather?
The weather was so bad. It was so bad.
Dustin sent me a text. He was like, Mike for sure would have ridden the trainer today.
Oh, yes, he would
Dustin
have.
said.
I even said in my ride title, the weather was terrible. Michael would have hated it.
Yeah, Michael would have for sure done the trainer.
We did this 3-hour ride in the worst weather of the day, but that's when we could do it. So we had 15 or 20 people that showed up.
But Jake probably drove half of those people back.
Jake drove
I drove a few back, yes.
Yeah, smart move.
It was an out and back
those
course, and there was a couple that jumped in the van and did not ride back. Or some people that drafted the van all the way back to Washington. That might have been me. So it was nice to get out with everybody and to honor Michael. We miss him very much. We lost him 5 years ago, and so it was nice to do the ride and honor him and say some things about him up in Washougal, where his tree that we have adopted for him was good. So that was good.
Yeah.
That's it.
Cool.
I did some other rides, but whatever. So, Jake,
I rode on Zwift and went to the gym.
that sucks.
Story over.
How's the gym stuff going?
Actually, really well.
Really?
Yep, I have been going for about.
What are you benching?
There's only one question. There's only one
That's all that
question.
matters.
I bench at probably about 45 pounds right now. No, I
Squat.
More than everybody. That's more than everybody else at this table.
Yeah, that's twice as much as the rest.
Dude, I used to be such a gym rat. And
What was your bench max?
the most
Best.
I've ever.
Yeah, best.
375.
I thought you were over 300. God, that's so strong.
That's
Oh my
that's
God.
all of our bench maxes combined, so that's good.
No, that might be more. let's not give you too much credit there. You were cross country.
Didn't like
country.
I didn't like the heavy stuff though. I attempted to go heavy once. We had like a competition. It was tied into a class that I was actually taking at school, and
You
that,
in class did 375?
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Yep, there was
That
one.
is hilarious.
Yeah, it was me and another buddy of mine who did like
minus, yeah.
395, but he was like 45 pounds heavier than I was.
Oh
so,
my God.
But the competition that I really liked was the repping out the 225. That was
Yeah.
that was
The
the
NFL
jam.
one.
So-
Where's Barrett?
Can we move
tonight?
on, please? We're
No.
talking about
This is now
He's probably
bench podcast.
he's in the weight room. Barrett's in the weight room
Barrett's
lifting
not
right
here.
now.
He's in the weight room.
Yeah, working on
He's
his bench.
actually I think he's doing
Repping
reps.
225
He's
right
doing
now.
reps at 325.
Probably, yeah.
So there's that.
I have been taking him to the gym with me, so that's
I'm
been
excited
good.
for Barrett. He's gonna be
awesome.
He's gonna be a
Let's go,
beast.
Barrett.
Yep. So yeah, not much else to report though. I did shuttle out some coffee and donuts though for everybody that did the Michael Myers ride. So that was
Cool.
kind of fun. And then I noticed that Lance kind of got dropped by some of the faster guys
Yes.
on some of the climbs that were leaving. And I came around him in the van. I'm like, I'm going to give him a ride back up.
He did.
Did you hold on to the car?
No,
and-
I did not. I
No.
literally drafted
Wait,
Sprinter
drafted
van for like
backup
8
Gibson
miles.
or
That's not too bad. You didn't hold on to the window and like a sticky water
No,
bottle.
from the top of Gibson
Yeah.
all the way back to Washougal.
Yeah, so we climbed
That's
up
a long
Mount Pleasant, Mount Pleasant,
very
and
long way.
Lance got separated from it. And there was a couple guys with Lance too, and I slotted in front of him, and I knew that he would like take that like I'm off
Yes.
the plane. And
He knows what that
I
means.
took the
Right.
bait immediately.
Yeah,
Oh,
he was
Jake,
probably camped
slow
out
down.
3 inches off my bumper, and we just kind of cruised and caught him up to everybody. So that was fun. So
But then I kept on the van when we passed everybody.
Yeah,
and I just
yeah.
kept going.
Just slingshot by him.
so yeah, that was fun. Yeah, but let's move on. What are you doing? You taking a selfie over
This
there?
is a B reel. It's not a selfie.
I was about to say, what app is he using right now? What is that?
You don't know?
You're only like
You're the only
4
person
hours
that
late.
The only person that should know what a B reel is in this entire room is Evan Price and Cassie. And Cassie knows what it is, but Evan has no idea what it
I have
is.
no clue what a B reel is.
B reel is like a
Is it
I don't know, it's like a
Snapchat?
social, yeah, it's like Snapchat.
Snapchat-y?
Social
Okay.
media. Snapchat.
I never had a
Very.
Snapchat.
All right, let's.
Oh, Champ Bailey. Wow. Can't believe Champ Bailey's here.
All right, Champ.
Live.
Take your mother, Dorothy Mantooth, out for a nice seafood dinner and never call her
I'm not
Wait,
calling it
is
back.
this got like a little bit of music laid in behind it? Did you add music to?
That's like 3 layers.
No, there's
there's
probably like
layers.
15 things in there that I put together. So
Good work. Good work.
All right, Champ is here.
What up,
Champ?
Champ?
Bailey,
Champ Bailey
world's
is
worst,
here live.
world's worst cycling sportscaster.
Live in Ben's
Go
Bottle
just
Shop.
look it up on
That's
cyclingnews.com
That's
right
why
now.
What's happened?
heard
There's,
they have
there's
nothing.
basically nothing's happened in the
I
last
can tell
3
you some
days.
stories about cyclists running.
Nobody cares
Well,
about that.
They
you
run
could give
fast.
us you could give us local news.
Well, there was a World Cup race this morning in Dendermonde,
of
in
course.
Belgium, and there was a super prestige race yesterday. These are both World Cup cyclocross races. They were super muddy. It was super ugly. There's nothing really interesting
They are very
happened.
Belgian.
Other than if you want to watch a really nasty, muddy race with some interesting features, then go to Flow Sports or GCN and watch those races.
If you want like a real report on what's going
If you want a real part,
don't go to
listen,
Champ Bailey.
If you come here for your cycling news, you are coming to the wrong place. This is not the place for cycling news. It's supposed to prompt conversations between us.
Turn on We Do if you want to hear that.
That's all you need to do.
And if you want triathlon news, Mr. Price,
Yeah, that's true.
is there anything going on?
I get my 15 seconds here of actual news, but
There's nothing going on,
There
right?
was Ironman Florida just happened, where Rudy Von Berg went very, very fast and beat Magnus Didlev.
And we have to be happy that an American
Yes.
won that race.
Let's go,
first
America.
of all.
Also-
but Josh Monda,
top 20. He
Had
was
his pro
20th place.
debut?
Pro
Pro
debut at
debut.
the ripe young age of 41. So
30-minute Ironman PR.
Yeah, he went
crushed it.
very fast.
Yeah, good
so
for
we
him.
are pumped about next season. It's going to be a fun year. Yeah.
it's gonna be a good year.
Yeah, he will not be racing La Quinta, though. We tried to convince him, but he's not going to do it. So, yeah.
We did have a local race today, the last race in the Cyclocross Crusade series up at Rainier High School. The Cat 1-2 men's race was won by Max Ritzau. He's won several races already this year, and he
Several? You mean all?
He didn't win all of them. I think Hartza won one and Decker won one, but but Max did pretty well. But we had some winners. We had a winner in the room.
In the audience.
Randy Frost won his race today.
Yeah, Randy, buddy.
There you go, Randy.
Congratulations, Randy.
I think Jan Juan was third.
Yes.
Well done. Who else raced today? Tom Counts raced today, and he's here.
10th place. Attaboy.
Way to go. Did anybody else race in here?
Austin
Oh,
raced here,
John.
too.
Wait, John Hatfield raced, and he told me he raced terribly. It's what he said. But way to go, John Hatfield. And Austin Ailing, I believe, raced.
Nice, Austin.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And who else?
Wes.
Wes, did you show up today?
Yeah, West race.
All right.
Different race.
Different race. You went to the Seattle race. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
but not
Flatter
so-
course work
Nobody
for
cares
some
about
of
the
us.
Seattle races, Wes.
I'm
Sorry.
proud of you, you know that. I hope you do.
Okay.
We're proud of you.
All right, Champ out. That's it.
Champ
Nothing else
Bailey
out.
out.
Champ?
Any more news?
No.
We're good.
Basically it.
Champ?
What?
You don't get it. I used to be legit. In fact, I was too legit. I was too legit to quit. But now, I'm not legit.
What is
I'm
this from?
unlegit. And for that reason, I must
Lance.
quit.
Is this like
Champ
a
Bailey, are you
Is that like a Saturday Night
becoming
Live thing?
unlegit now? Or
No, yeah, Champ. That's the end of Champ Bailey. He's done.
No.
He needs to be retired.
He got outed today.
I did get outed. That's right. You can tell. See how I changed my voice so much for Champ Bailey's segment.
It's like
No.
magic trick.
All right, move on.
All right.
Sailed.
Hey, you know what? You know who kind of makes this whole thing go round? This whole podcast thing? Our Patreons.
Oh, okay.
Are there any Patreons in the studio here today? Anyone? Raise a hand. Yes, thank you. We are going to do a Patreon drawing.
You can see how we do our actual Patreon drawing.
That is the jar.
This is the jar with the little names in there, all of our Patreons. We're giving away a dialed water bottle today.
Let's
These water bottles are
somebody
excellent.
Yeah.
You actually need one of those, Evan.
I
They're
shake it
super
up
nice.
and then I just let them pick one out.
Okay, good.
Perry York.
Perry York.
Harry York.
I think Perry just won a water bottle not too long ago.
Really? Oh, no.
Where's the...
We have like a list of people that have not won recently.
Well,
No,
that's not fixed,
it's well, we've got all brand new printed out stuff, so you can actually read what it says. It's like actually like typed out and stuff now. Whereas
Smart.
before
You
it was
went
my chicken.
legit.
Yeah, I'm legit. You're not legit anymore. So
too legit to quit.
I'm so unlegit that I have
2
quit.
water bottles though for Perry. That's awesome.
yep.
Match
Do you think we should do one more just in case?
Just in case.
I've got a 2nd water bottle.
Let's pick one out and just find somebody in the room.
Yeah.
Keep going until we find someone in the room.
No. Well,
Yes.
That's
We
our
could be
true-
here
our
for a while.
true Patreons
Wow.
are actually here in the room with us.
what do you got? Nope.
Mike back.
Mike back. All right.
It's not here.
Well, I don't think we can sit here and do the whole drawing names out of a bucket all night long. So
No, this will be the whole podcast. Let's do this.
we got a lot of questions to get through. So
Do we want to pull these people and put them like separated? Okay, whatever.
all right, we'll do it later. We're starting over.
Mike
Come
back. Way to go, Mike.
Mike back and
We
Perry
are
York. You guys
proud
want
of
some water
Good,
bottles?
good. Come get your water bottle.
Got to go to the lab. So they're
Get
local guys. They
to
go to
the
the lab
lab.
and get those. All right, but we really do appreciate you guys for being patrons. That really helps out because this thing, doesn't really make any money.
So the patrons do pay for our hosting and for our
Yes.
equipment.
So
Hosting all the MP3s takes time. It takes a
Matt's
server.
beer. Yeah.
My beer. No. I think Matt's paying for Matt's beer.
So, for those who might be interested in becoming a patron, you can go to dialpodcast.com. You can scroll down and find the Patreon link. Go to Patreon, pick out a level that works best for you, and we will greatly appreciate that. We'll put your name into the little bin here, and we'll hopefully get you some cash and prizes, right? Because we give out cash, right?
A lot of cash.
A lot of cash.
Matt does. Yeah.
Hard cold cash.
All right, let's get into the topic, which is pretty much Happy 300. Woo, woo.
300 podcasts.
And that's going to be us basically just going through a bunch of questions from the listeners that have been submitting a lot of questions here.
We have a list of questions. How do you want to do this?
Just,
I don't
just
care.
Pick a
Just-
random one and go.
Just fire them off.
Yep.
Yeah.
Pick out the first one you got, and we're going to go through these things as quickly as we possibly can.
Yeah,
so.
'cause
Okay,
there's a few of them.
there were several questions just
There's some-
directly towards me, which I'm not sure if I should be offended about.
We'll answer those for
Or
you. Go
honored.
ahead.
Let's go with
should be
honored.
honored.
Let's go with honored. And actually, I think some of these questions are like really good.
I'm going to start with a really good one.
Okay.
There are some ridiculous questions in here. We won't out you about that.
They are
ranking
really
them?
good
Okay.
questions.
But this first one, how did Dialed start?
Oh, that's a good question.
Very carefully.
People may not know how that started. This is
I think you've told that story in a podcast before too, right?
I have.
It's been a while.
Yeah, I'll do the little Cliff Notes version. It kind of started because when we first moved to the Pacific Northwest back in 2015, I knew exactly 0 people. And,
That's true,
basically, long story short, I really was fond of the whole cycling industry, and that was something that I kind of wanted to do because I sold an old business and kind of moved forward, and here we are. And then after a little bit of time, I'm like, all right, I think I'm going to start doing this whole like little bike shoppy thing, and I wanted to see if I can, make something of it. But at the same time, I'm like, I'd really love to start something that was kind of community driven, and kind of have a team. And I did connect with a team for a short period of time.
Monster Media?
Monster Media, and
called?
raced
Yeah.
for them with a season, and had fun. Met some cool people, and all the while I was kind of doing this whole Dialed Cycling Lab. But I knew in my heart that I wanted to start a team because that was like a great way to meet people and to be able to give back and support and do all other stuff.
Speaking of Michael Myers,
Yeah.
who was like, yeah, let's start a team.
Yeah.
You probably met him one of the first people that you met amongst like the group
sort
of
of
cyclists in the
yeah.
area.
Well, actually, I think I actually.
You might have met me. You met me pretty early on.
Yeah,
Corey. There was Corey.
Corey Duncan.
Duncan,
Yeah,
yeah.
I think I met you before I met everybody. You were
Okay.
one of the very first people, and then
Which is a horrible story because I said, "Oh, Corey sent me a text and it was like, hey, there's this guy who's new in town and like he's good cyclist, whatever. Like we're gonna go climb some hills and I need someone that can actually keep up with this guy." And I'm thinking like, oh hell, I'm in good shape. Let's go. And I immediately tried to like take it to him on the first hill.
You brought your tri-bike, didn't you?
Of course. What other bike was there?
That was already as soon as you showed up. He's like, I'm dropping this guy.
And I hit the first hill like hard, and went hard for probably 100 meters on the first hill, and then like Jake's talking to me as I'm going as hard as I can. And then we climb up, and then I give out, and then Corey is like, oh, I thought you were, and then he comes by me. That was the end of that ride.
that
It was
fun.
a real embarrassment. That's how I met Jake.
So, anyway, then like Dialed proper, I was
Right.
kind of doing this whole thing in the shop, and I hadn't quite given it a name yet, and was kind of wanting to do something.
Was this out of your garage
Yeah,
at the time?
yeah. There's a lot more to the story. I don't want to bore everybody, but I just wanted to do something. It was one of those things where I'm like, I want to start a business though, and I don't want to invest anything into it because I
Fair.
kind of had like a fair. I don't know, like I had like a challenge to myself, like what can I do and have it build itself, and that was kind of what it was doing. And then after Monster Media didn't quite fit my needs, I decided that was the time that I wanted to go ahead and start the cycling team. And by that time, I'd gotten to know quite a few people because of things called Strava. You can meet some people on there, and turns out like if you take people's KOMs, they start to notice who you are, and you start to get like emails from people, and getting invites to go out and do different things. And I think. It was my very first race with Monster Media was the Jack Frost Time Trial, now the Michael Myers Memorial Time Trial. And I remember being lined up at the start house, and I hear this, "Hey, are you Jake Von During?" I'm like, what the, who knows my name around here? And this guy comes running up, he shakes my hand, he's like, yeah, my name's Lance Hepler. We follow each other on Strava. So that was my first introduction.
Creeping.
That would be how Lance would run into you. Is like, you have no idea who I am. But
that's the jerk that's taking all my KOMs.
I know every route you've done over the last
month. I'm
month.
going to go make him my friend, and then make me faster.
Make him drag me around and get KOMs for me.
I'm like, who is this guy? I'm like maybe two people away from getting ready to start. I'm trying to get focused up and getting all psyched up and to go fast. And then
because you finished second in that race like every year.
Yeah.
That was back in the day when you always finished second,
Yeah.
right?
Lance, were you riding a tri-bike that year?
Oh, yeah.
No.
He didn't even
we
race
rode a
on
road bike for that.
Was I?
Were you racing or were you just out there?
Yeah.
No, please no.
You already sold all the tri bikes.
I buried it in the backyard. I buried it.
Well, anyway, so Monster Media, I moved on from them, and at that point in time, I had met Michael Myers, and again, through Strava, that's how we met each other. Well, actually, it was part Strava and part his wife would be walking the dog. And
Did you just ride by his garage or something?
Well,
You saw
so
him too? Yeah.
I used to live on Sierra, and there's a little tight turn there, and I'd always have my garage door open, because if it was nice out, I'd have the garage door open, I'd be out there working on bikes, and this lady would walk by every now and then, she'd smile, and she'd wave, I'm like, hi, and like, she evidently went home and told her husband, she's like, hey, I keep walking by this house, and there's this guy, and he's working on bikes, and he's like, they look like nice bikes.
He's a real psycho.
That was how Mike described it. He was like, yeah, but you want to basically make me friends with Jake. That was how he put it.
And so he pinged me on Strava. Like, he followed me on Strava and pinged me on there. And then, like, we, became friends. And then he kind of figured out where I was at. And one day he was driving home from, work, and he stopped. And he's like, hey, you're Jake, right? And I'm like, yeah, you're Michael. Yeah. And so we chatted for a minute, and we made plans. And we went for a ride. And, that's how I got to know Michael. And then, Lance would start to come out. And there was a group of us. And then once Monster Media was one of those things that I was going to be in my rearview mirror, and I was done with it, I was going to start the team. And Michael and Lance, I actually just talked about this on Saturday, were probably the first two people that I asked about, like, hey, I want to start a team. This is what it's going to be about, and this is how we can support it in a bunch of different ways. Would you be interested in starting that, or jumping on board with me and helping me grow and start this team? And Lance, obviously said yes, but I got to keep this clean. But Michael's response was, as soon as I asked him, he's like, F yeah, and he was super pumped about that, and the rest is history. So we're into this thing now, 7 years or something like that. I think our first official season was 2017, so it's been a minute.
We started with an original 10 members.
About 10 or 11 people,
10 or 11 people we started, and now there's 150-ish.
I think
people.
collectively it's closer to 200.
Yeah, almost 200 people are on the team now, so it's grown quite a bit.
A little bit.
Yeah.
So anyway, the lab kind of grew concurrent with that, and it was kind of fun because I was able to use the lab to support the team so that we could do a bunch of cool stuff there. And
that was kind of the original idea, was let's have the lab to be able to support the team, and then we just outgrew the garage.
Yeah.
It was too much.
Anyway, that's kind of how it started. I mean, that's like the Cliff Note version. There's a lot of other things that happen in there, but it's been a really fun process, and my God, have I gotten to know so many cool people. Pretty cool. Very cool.
Very good. All right, next question. To Lance. Congrats on a fantastic race season, particularly mountain biking. Question, will you be upgrading to Cat 1 this year?
We've talked about this.
Okay, so...
Your plan is to bypass Cat 1 and go pro.
From the Obra rulebook. Masters 50-plus men are not required to upgrade beyond Cat 2 in mountain biking. So I don't have to upgrade to Cat 1 45-plus, but I'm probably going to keep racing Cat 2.
I don't know, dude.
The question is, no, I don't think I will. I think I'm going to stay in Cat 2. I like that. Look at all this hate. That's what happens on the start line, too, when I roll up. Freaking Hepler!
A lot of
what
booing.
Are you doing here?
A lot of booing.
Will somebody please beat Hepler in this race? Why aren't you racing Cat 1? Shut up. From the Obra rulebook. And then I just read it. All right, no, serious question. Next one.
Hold on.
Oh.
Jij bent een klootzak.
Yeah. That is Dutch for...
You're an asshole.
You're an asshole.
Oh, gotcha, okay.
I'm working on my Dutch right now.
Yeah, so am I.
Because I'm going to Amsterdam.
Yeah, you're bringing Ethan. You need to.
Okay, next question.
Ethan, one thing.
What is your most embarrassing moment? Your most embarrassing cycling moment? Mine's easy. That's why they call me No Pants Lance.
Short track, was it? Or was it
not
Trophy
short
Cup?
track.
Trophy Cup.
It was a Trophy Cup cyclocross race. This was like 5 years ago, and I was just remounting my bike, and I caught the crotch of my bib shorts on the seat, and it ripped the crotch out. And I didn't realize it. I didn't notice it. I finished the race.
The best part is that you're Italian. You're a well-endowed man. You're very proud of who you are. It's all good.
I rolled up. I finished the race. I rolled up. I rolled up to the guys I was racing. I'm like, "Hey guys, that was a great race." And one of them's like, "Dude, go change your pants." I'm like, "What? Oh no!"
You had no idea.
I had no.
It's
idea.
one of my favorite podcasts. Is when you actually came on and told that story fresh.
I wasn't hanging out, but it was
close.
It was close.
Yeah, we're danger zone.
It was danger zone. This is way too much. Should I stop? I'm going to stop.
In
I
Europe-
can keep telling
in
more
Europe,
stories,
that's
Brady.
fine.
I'm getting the stink eye from my wife. Like, stop it.
Do you want me to go into detail?
Here's what we saw.
Okay, do you guys have
There's no
embarrassing
kids here
stories?
now, so.
Matt
another
has to have one here.
I always
I
have
definitely have
embarrassing
embarrassing story,
stories. I feel like any sort of like peeing yourself, pooping yourself, all that stuff is like, that's just a given. That's a given. my most embarrassing stuff is more like along the lines of like when I first started cycling and I'm in a pace line and I'm hanging on by dear threads and I'm like, I'm hurting. I'm going into the aero bars and someone in the back is like, get out of the drops. You can't safely ride this way. So that's literally my most embarrassing story was like, oh, it's not safe to ride like this. So
I'm just amazed Matt wasn't the guy that you wanted to bring first onto the Dial team for cycling. You're like, that guy who brought his tri-bike to a group ride, he needs to be on the cycling team. Yeah.
I don't know. I have some pretty fond memories of riding with Matt when he was on the TT bike, and I trusted him. I just had, I don't know, for whatever reason, but I trusted him, and we would go to those beaches rides, and those were a lot of fun. We would
we could put the hurt on back in the day. Now what's the matter with us?
I could barely keep up with you as it is.
Oh, yeah. Well,
I did in my very first bike race, which was a crit. I was 18 and racing with Kit Hinders, who you guys have known as well. So I was not on the Gisalo team yet at that time in Dayton, but that was the team.
Gelato?
I actually don't even know what Gisalo was as a company, but that team is still around in Ohio, actually. But Kit was in the race, and we were 4.5s or whatever, a lot of young guys out there. And a guy I'm wrong. I had actually joined the team before the race, so I was on Gisalo. And we had 2 guys going a breakaway, and there were 4 guys in that break. And I sat on the front, and over 4 laps worked to pull those 4 guys back. 2 of which were my teammates.
Some things never change.
You pulled your teammates back.
Kit came up to me and hit me on the helmet and said, "You're a explicit idiot."
I love Kit.
And then we were best friends ever since.
You don't chase down your own teammates.
No, he was.
Evan, I seem to recall some story in where you went for a long run and ended up pooping in somebody's front yard.
Neighbors are during the winter. Yeah, in the snow too.
In the snow.
In stick season in Ohio, no coverage. Neighbors saw me in their yard, decided not to address
That's
it.
a lot more embarrassing than like I pulled back my team.
I chased my teammates back.
But
That doesn't even on the list.
But Matt was a runner for long enough too to know that that's happened so many times to every runner that's just like you just brush it off.
You could have gone to the backyard at least. You went just right to the...
This is Ohio, man. There's not, you're going to be seen by somebody.
I had another embarrassing moment where I was racing at PIR on the road race at PIR, and I had a great race, and I finished second in the field. I was super pumped. I had a great sprint. I rolled right up to the team afterwards, couldn't unclip, fell right over.
Oh, I remember that.
That's great.
I remember that. That was
I'm
good.
like, I'm so cool. I just almost won this race.
Let me fishtail over
Let
here.
me check this out, and I just fell right down and scraped my knee.
I think my most embarrassing stories about that as well. I was
Was
a lot
falling?
younger. I was probably like in my early 20s.
You're like, why is this guy on the
and I
team?
was riding down on the PCH. I was in Encinitas or Laguna or something like that. Pulled up to a stoplight and realized, oh, I forgot to clip out, and this isn't going to come out quite as fast as I wanted to. And next thing you know, I fall
100
right
cars
over.
sitting around you.
And there's cars everywhere. It's the dead of summer down there. So yeah, you just kind of.
Did they give you like a honk out, like a?
You could see
way to
people
go?
snickering and laughing.
Yeah.
I don't recall getting any honks.
Okay.
Probably did, but yeah, just kind of got back on the bike and
There's always
got
that
out.
learn to clip out thing.
Uh-huh.
Oh, yeah, guaranteed.
Yeah, that's solid.
Yeah.
Quite
All right,
Go, Lance.
next question. Greatest moment in cycling history. One
Okay.
thing.
Okay.
When Lance Armstrong won his 7th Grand
Wrong.
Tour de France.
Wrong answers only. Wrong answers
Wrong
only.
answers
Yeah,
only.
that's the correct answer.
No.
Next question.
I think. Let me think.
You're
Give me
really
a
having a
second.
hard
Give me a
time
second.
thinking of
Jake.
one better than that.
Greatest moment in cycling history?
Yep.
Just like one of any discipline, whatever?
Yep.
Jeez.
Lance
Yes.
Hepler winning.
God.
Greg LeMond. Greg LeMond time
John,
trial.
come
Time trial.
LeMond.
Greg LeMond beats the
Bernard
French
Hinault.
Bernard Hinault.
Bernard Hinault. On the
8 seconds. Is that what it was?
Yeah.
And that was also
Closest margin ever.
This is good because this is like very current because that was the last event of that particular race. They have almost never finished with a time trial, and that was one of the times that they
Not on the
did.
Champs.
Right?
Yep.
Yeah.
And so now this year coming up, they're going to actually finish with the time trial again. So applicable to our discussion today.
Roglic losing to Pogacar?
That's a great one.
Yes,
on
we
that
should.
final time
We should
trial.
talk about that. That was good.
I mean, I know it's
no Greg
recent,
LeMond,
but
because they were on the same team, weren't they?
No.
Oh, okay. Correct me when I'm wrong, and I am
They
wrong.
had previously been on the same team. Yeah.
They've previously been on the same team.
Cavendish in 2024.
Cavendish in 2024 winning the most.
Yes, Jake. Sorry.
That's a big moment.
Nope.
Yeah.
All right, next question. What's the weirdest thing you have ever found on the side of the road?
Ooh. Okay.
I really was trying to think of this one.
I have a great answer. I found a knife that was like 5 to 8 times bigger than this one. I didn't realize.
Found a machete?
I just pulled this. I just pulled this out of Lance's pants.
That was in my pocket.
And I expected things coming out of Lance's pants to be big, but
It's a tiny little knife.
it's quite small. And so the knife that I picked up on the road was just like this, except for, let's just say, 8 times larger. And it was open just like this, and it was pointing like up almost, like kind of sitting on the side of the road, and I almost biked over it, right? Thinking like that you would just absolutely slice your tire. It would destroy your tire. And then I stopped, and I'm like, wait a minute, that's an open knife. I'm going to pick this up and take this home. And I still do, if you ever watch videos on my YouTube channel, I'll like do unboxing videos. If you ever see me like open a knife, that's literally the knife that I found.
Close it.
And I don't know how to say.
He's gonna stab himself. Dude.
But
Please take
that's the knife
from
that I
him.
found on. It's the knife that I found on the side of the
Grab
road.
it, Lance,
It's
please.
one of my favorite like road finds because I found lots of stuff. Do you guys ever just find like tools and stuff, and you're like, yeah, I'm not gonna pass this up. This is like a $20 ratchet or something, and you're just like, yeah, I'm taking this home.
Yeah.
Jake?
I can't talk about it on the podcast.
It's like
but
a-
it's
It was an adult toy.
Adult toy.
Yeah, we should be. We're still a clean podcast, so we can't go there.
That answers the question, though. I'll just leave it at that.
Okay.
I did, in the Molten Falls area, I found a whole cherry pie.
What?
Yeah. Whole cherry pie, side of the road, like in the ditch.
What, like land out of the car?
Yeah,
is
like-
perfect.
like it landed,
Please
like-
tell me you took the cherry pie.
No,
I hope
That's
you,
just
I hope you
random.
ate.
not.
I hope you ate the cherry pie.
But I named the segment Cherry Pie Hill.
That's awesome.
So the
that's
Strava
cool.
segment's called
I
Cherry
did
Pie Hill.
in Ohio. Anybody who's seen The Godfather will get this, but a severed horse head. What? In Ohio, in Hillsboro, Ohio.
That is weird.
There was a severed horse head, and I was on a group ride too, and we were all very spooked after that.
I
We're
really
like,
hope that it wasn't like some horse that like stuck his head out the window. and, you're
I don't
like-
want to think about that, but yeah.
and then they just like they find the horse.
I have no
half-
explanation. It's not like we wanted to go up to the farm and be like, "Hey guys, just in case you were wondering, right outside your farm here,
What
there's
happened?"
a severed horse head." Yeah, I did not want to know what happened. A little bit spooky.
All right, next question. Lance, do you think that the lack of aerodynamic advantage of not having your handlebar mustache negatively affected your race performance this year?
100%.
Fair
yes.
question, fair
Is this
question.
West?
It's
Did
West.
West come up with this question?
That's 10 to 12 watts at least.
Yeah, there's
Yeah,
definitely
guaranteed 10
there's an easy 57 watts for
We
you
could-
bringing the
we could
handlebar
CEA
back.
Do I need to bring the
that.
handlebar mustache back?
Yes.
We have a vote. How many say yes? And how many say no?
I only hear one no, but it's
Only
pretty,
my wife
it's
says
a pretty
no.
important no.
There's
though.
one loud no in the back.
All right, next question. What is your favorite post-race pastry?
Ooh. I wonder if there's
Okay.
any. Is there an Instagram account that we should follow?
There is.
Is it called Post Race
It
Pastries?
is called Poster. I don't know who runs it, but you
No one
guys should
knows.
probably.
No one
Nobody
knows.
knows who runs it, but you should follow
Well,
it.
I'm on it.
What was my favorite post-race pastry?
My post
tough.
race.
You know, there was there was a cinnamon roll in Santa Cruz in Cassie. I forget which year that was. 2018.
Wow.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
went
that
back.
was because
You guys
I
went
had
back
never
on
been
that
that tired after a race, and I was sitting there, and Cassie brought it to me, which was amazing. So that was why that was my favorite. Yeah.
What about you boys? You guys got a?
I had a post race pastry today at what's the little coffee place downtown Camas? Piccolo or
Yeah. Yep, Cafe
They
Piccolo.
have good pastries.
Cafe Piccolo? I don't know. It was cinnamon scone, something sugary. It was good.
Okay. Nice.
I ate a giant donut yesterday at the Michael Myers ride and promptly threw it up about.
Did you throw up yesterday?
That was not your favorite post-race pastry.
Did you throw up yesterday?
Maybe. We don't need to talk about that.
Did you go that hard on Gibson that you need to throw up?
No, I wasn't going. Well,
He had to get on the wheel. The wheel was.
I was trying to get
the wheel
Jason
was a van. It was a van that was trying to pace him back.
Hatfield was riding with me, but he could not stay with the van. And then he tried to chase me down when it hit the flat, and the van went away, and he still couldn't catch me. So suck it, John.
Clearly more
But I throw up. I threw up the donut.
Hatfield, did you throw up? Did Hatfield throw up? No.
Hatfield
No. Absolutely
You're
not.
doing it wrong, then.
You're doing it wrong.
I didn't have a pastry, but it was a mid-ride, and it was a crepe, and down in downtown Oceanside when we were doing a recovery ride, and we've gone back there multiple times. Oh my gosh, those are good.
Do you remember the name of the place by chance?
It's a little French restaurant down in Oceanside.
Okay.
I will look that up for you because we've gone there several
That'd be
times.
worthwhile,
Highly
yeah.
recommend it.
We will be going back next year.
Is that the
2024?
team?
Yeah,
Okay.
Yep.
we're going back
Nice.
to Fallbrook and Oceanside. Yeah. All right, next question. If you couldn't use sealant for the rest of your cycling career, what would you use instead?
Quit cycling.
Sealant?
Sealant.
Yeah, you could just easily, like, you could use a post-race pastry filling of some sort.
I would use a cinnamon roll, like the cream cheese. It would need to be
Curdled
cream
milk.
cheese.
Curdled milk.
And cream.
The longer it sits,
I'm sure
the
it
better
would
it
work.
seals.
Yogurt.
Yeah, toss some cream cheese frosting
Does
in there.
that mean
Start
we-
squirting out everybody, and everybody's like jumping
We
for
would
your
have to
wheel.
go back to
Yeah.
tubes. Is that what we did
question.
before? I don't remember. Is
I
that
feel
what
like
we
good
used to put in
question.
there?
Good question. Whoever came up with
I
that
guess
one.
tubes.
That was Yunji. Okay, next question. What do you guys want for Christmas?
I got a board answer because we already got it. I needed a new road helmet. Thank you. So. I
Oh,
got,
yeah.
Yeah, the Protone.
Protone?
Yeah. Yep. There you go.
You want a new road helmet. What about you, Matt? You need another knife.
Sleep.
From
I
my
don't know.
pocket, baby.
Deep. One of those deep, long knives from Lance Hepler.
A break in swimming season.
Yeah, I feel like I'm one of those weirdos that like has everything that he needs, so I'm probably a nightmare to shop for. So
I'm the same way.
can you imagine?
I'm
Like,
not easy.
oh,
that's why this is a question from
This is
Brandon.
actually a great
She
question.
wants my answer, and
That's
I don't have
very
one.
smart, Brandon.
Sorry.
Yeah, that's- yeah.
I want liquid death for Christmas.
yeah.
This is just sparkling water, by the
Sparkling
way.
water is a great answer to the
For $1
question.
more.
Sparkling water.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jake.
All right.
What's up?
Jake,
what do I want for
what do you
Christmas?
want for Christmas?
I want sleep, I want time, and I want a healthy leg and hip.
Yeah.
Am I the
Those
only
are
one
all
here that's
things
actually
that-
like you're gonna be selfish here and say things like this is? I have more
you know
things
what?
I could say for you guys.
Nobody's going to buy it for me, but I could have used a mountain bike. It's been a
you
year
go.
since I've had a mountain bike now.
I got one you can use.
Yeah, I just need to be able to ride bicycles again to
borrow.
justify.
You do need to come ride mountain bikes.
You need to
with me.
borrow my mountain bike and figure out the braking.
I need.
Yeah, we do need to get that sorted out still.
I'm not sure if it breaks here. Do you want to ride this?
No one wants to be able to brake.
I want Jake to be healthy so you can ride with me again.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
what I want for Christmas. All right, next question. What's your favorite beach for a long walk?
That's not a question. That was not a real
Santa Cruz for sure.
question. Oceanside.
Oceanside, yeah.
Oceanside.
There you go.
No, those are crappy beaches. Go to Hawaii.
That's actually true. Yeah. Santa Cruz is a cool beach.
Yeah, that was really.
On southern Maui, I did a bike ride without you guys, and it was
did it
just
without us.
awesome. It was awesome. I'll take you
I
next
probably
time.
would buy that beach. Yeah. We need
I'll
to do it
take you.
again.
Yeah.
Yep.
Next question. Are there prizes for attendance?
Right.
Yes.
Everybody, turn to the person on your left. Turn to the person to your left.
Look under your seats.
Pat
There's
them on the
nothing
back and say, "Good job."
Next question. What do you think race promoters could do better?
Ooh, this is a good question. Who came up with this question? This is a good question.
Promote.
Is there a
Good
race
question.
promoter in here first? No? Okay, good.
Okay, good. We won't
We're
offend
kind of-
anyone.
Yeah.
Okay, here's my hot take, and I think people should push this big, and it's not a good answer. I feel like people should push the experience more. Like, hey, look how Instagrammable this is. It's very like, you can share this. Look how cool. You get your picture next to the windmill. You get your picture next to the, oh, your feet are in the water. How crazy is that?
Yeah.
Like something like that where it's like, this
Some
is
photo booth with your medal. Something like that.
with your medal, right?
That's what people care about.
No, it's one of those things where it's like, it's little, but then that stuff goes a bit viral, or not necessarily even viral, or like we can just say like local viral, where people are looking at it and they're like, oh, man, that's the Cascade thing. Oh, I'm going to have to do that next year, right? Where it's like you look at it and you kind of have that tinge of jealousy.
Yeah.
Like I think that's what you need to lean into as a race director.
To bring it,
That's my hot take.
Outside of marketing, I actually think there's something really important here. And this goes to the tri-world primarily, but I think it goes across all races. You got to get the basics right. So that means course needs to be marked correctly. And there needs to be enough volunteers that there aren't people missing turns, that there aren't people screwing up. And it needs to be correct distances.
Can't follow the wrong Tesla if you're a triathlete and you're in.
Yeah, but I think that's a big thing. When we're talking about actually running like really good races that stay around for a long time, I think that the course sanctity needs to be important. Like that's a huge part.
That's kind of like
cycling world too. Is like, I mean, road racing. I will admit some of my worst road racing experiences in the Midwest was just from like one time the lead car took us down a wrong turn.
Yeah, that's happened before.
And then like half the chase group wins the race then. So it's like that can ruin a race.
That's like nail the basics.
Yeah,
like
you
just
need to be
nail the
really
basics.
good at the basics.
At Unbound, the intersections aren't even, there's not even flaggers at Unbound. And the course is not even marked at Unbound. You have to have it on your
But what are
computer.
primarily people's complaints? I hear people complain about that all the time.
That's why Unbound is one of the most unpopular races.
That's right.
In the United States.
But it's also Unbound is like it's like the Barclays Marathon. It's like an anomaly. You know, I mean, it's like, I mean, if you did that at every road race, we're like, all right, guys, figure it out. Like, nobody would go and do that race.
It is rural Kansas. It is, kind of in the middle of nowhere, Kansas.
Yeah, it's an anomaly to that rule.
Jake, race promoter?
Promote. I feel like too many people
on
just.
a race,
I mean,
please.
they know how to like do all the things. Like they go get the permits, they'll go get their flaggers, they'll go get their outhouses, they'll map out the course just fine, and then they'll put it up on a calendar somewhere, and then they just don't promote it.
Just hire young kids to do that stuff. They do that stuff great. Yeah, just bring in like 3 kids who are 23 years old and be like, promote the heck out of this.
Yeah, well,
there you go.
we've got Zone 5, and I think that they're probably doing a
good job.
Probably the best job. Well, them and Mudslinger, they are doing the best jobs. It just feels like a lot of other people that are promoting races, that's probably why they're not promoting races anymore, because they don't know how to promote.
Yeah, Y promotes well.
Yeah, they do.
Yep. Y markets very well.
Yep.
One more question. What tool, bike, or company do you wish existed? Like,
what tool?
What custom bike painter? What are you asking, Brandy? Is this from you? I just outed you, Brandy.
No, I don't care. No, like, do you wish that there was something that's on the market that's not?
Do we wish there was a product on the market that is not?
I'll actually answer that, Brandy, that I think would be... I wish that there were more readily available bike painters, actually, I think, that you could... I actually wish more companies had more variable colors. And that's not... Like, I'm not somebody that cares about that, but I know a lot of people that do. And the really cool tri-bikes, for instance, that you saw, like, in Kona, make... What we're talking about with race promoting, that's the cool... I mean, like, they have some amazing bikes that roll through there with custom paint jobs that are, like, the coolest thing you've ever seen. And that becomes free marketing, basically, for these races, too.
There are quite a few manufacturers that have done the semi-custom route. Like, you can kind of pick and choose, like, the graphics or the colors that go into the bike. It just doesn't seem like it ever pans out quite well. I think a lot of people
if there were, like, well-established groups that would be like, we will send us your bike, it will be a custom paint. I think that'd be really cool. I think it's a niche market for it.
If you could work it out with the manufacturers so that you could have like maybe select painters that can actually strip the bike down, get it down to the raw carbon, repaint it, or whatever the material is.
I think plenty of people would pay an extra $500-$600 on an $8,000 bike to say, like, hey, I want a custom paint job. I think a lot of people would do that.
But the problem is a lot of times you're walking that fine line of it avoiding the warranty of the bike. And for as much as bikes cost these days, like, I'm not going to want to avoid my warranty. If something goes wrong, I want that to be replaced. These bikes are costing upwards of $10,000, $12,000, $15,000 now.
There is an interesting other market that's developing, Coup Cycling, which is a company owned by, I'm going to get this wrong, I think he was like a Ferrari engineer or something, but he is basically creating tri and TT bikes that are designed to the person's specific aerodynamics. So they have to test very niche market, like very, very niche market, but that is really cool.
Yeah.
Right now, it's literally he's designed the bike around the people.
Yeah. You know what I would like to see? It kind of goes in line with the whole custom paint thing. Is if you can do a wrap on a car, why not do wraps on a bike?
That would be cool.
You can have like a skin that can protect the bike a little bit.
Yeah.
It can be designed however you want. You can have any kind of graphics
If
on
it can
there.
weather wear on a car, a bike, it can for sure handle a bike.
Oh, for sure. If you think about like your phone, if you're putting like that protective on the face of it and you take that off and it's almost like it's new, like you can create something with some of the materials that they have these days.
Especially if we're spending as much as people spend on a road bike. It's like, why not? You can
Well,
do
if you
your own
think about
custom
it
job
too,
on it.
if you can strip the bike down with nothing on it and you don't have to strip paint off of it, you're not voiding the warranty. And theoretically, if the bike's clean and you can put that on there, it's going to be a lot less labor intensive because Lance knows he just had some work done on his bike and there's a lot that goes into having to sand that thing down. It takes a long time.
It takes a long time.
Like our teammate, Mike Hansen, he just did this incredible BMZ or his gravel bike. Lance has seen it, I'm sure, and it's the paint job on it is unreal. I was talking with Mike, and I think he said he put in between 30 and 40 hours just sanding it down.
Yeah, sanding it and wet sanding it, and then
just over
putting
and
a
over.
layer
Oh my
down,
God.
and then wet sanding that layer.
That's
and,
incredible.
Yeah.
So put some sort of shrink wrap thing on there. Yeah, that'd be freaking awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, I lied. One last question.
Go.
Well, Cassie says autolactate testing.
Wait, autolactate.
Autolactate testing, where you could take your own
test your
lactate
lactic
testing.
Lots of glucose. If they could make the glucose.
So continuous
monitor
glucose
also.
monitor.
Evan,
should
you're
be-
lactating now? Did I miss something?
There's a maternity
Usually
question.
2 days a week during your interval session. It's strange, yeah.
How's that? How are you doing some lactate testing still? Seriously?
This off season I will. I haven't done it in like the last 2 months. Yeah.
Yeah, if they can do continuous glucose monitor, they can do
With
continuous
lactate.
lactate.
Yeah, they can.
Yeah, they should
can.
do it.
That'd be very cool.
That'd be huge. I'd shut up and take my money.
Oh my God, Norway would buy all of it.
Yes.
Okay, one more. If you had to replace your wheels with any household item, what would it be and why? Thanks, Yunji.
Let's think about this. Okay.
Replace your wheels with a household item.
Egg beaters.
Egg beaters.
No, that's stupid.
Pizza cutter?
Pizza
Ooh,
cutters.
Yeah.
Also stupid.
What else? Yeah.
Replace wheels. What
Just
would make it
pizzas.
fun?
Pizzas.
Yeah. I would like large couch cushions. Be funny to kind of like bounce up and down. Yeah, you're right. That'd be funny.
Have that soft.
Very large, or like
Plush.
bean bags, like a big
Plush
bean
feel.
bag. Yeah, you can ride over anything. It's like riding on a 5 psi mountain bike.
All right, that's the end of our listener questions, unless there's others from the room.
Shout out chance. Here's your chance to shout out some questions if you have them. I'm seeing nothing.
Crickets. We already.
That's fair. That's fair.
good. We got all your questions.
You boys have any questions? Any hot takes? Any hot seat stuff?
Okay, I got a question for you.
Go ahead.
We're 300 podcasts in.
Yeah.
What's coming up?
301.
Okay. Fair. Good question. Good answer. Good answer.
Where are we going with this little dog and pony show? What are we actually doing?
What's
with
coming
this?
up? What's our plans? What would you say
We
do?
haven't
What
thought
is it you
past
say
7 p.m.
you
It's
do
already
here?
7:30.
Well, as we've alluded to,
We want more guests on. Do we want more?
I've been talking with a lot of people,
Sure.
and it's just a matter of like having a little bit more time on my end to actually coordinate with these people to come on. So there are some guests that are going to be coming through.
It's hard when we have guests. We can't just be like,
Yeah.
podcast in 30 minutes. Let's go.
Yeah. One thing that I do want to do is to start capturing multicam and potentially not doing a live stream, but actually just editing it down and putting up stuff on the YouTubes for people to watch and enjoy.
Heard about YouTube.
Like a 15-minute
No,
discussion on
Yeah,
one
maybe
certain
shorter,
topic.
like little Instagram shorts or YouTube shorts.
It could be whatever we want it to be, but it would be fun to be able to post that kind of stuff up there, which would expose the podcast to a few more people.
Because Lance has some zingers.
No.
He has some zingers.
You're saying.
Only if I'm making fun of Evan.
For there to be a reel, it needs to be hot takes. We don't have many. We're very lukewarm with most takes.
Yeah, it'd be kind of fun to just expose it to more people. I mean, I'm still blown away. We have listeners who have listened in 36 different countries.
Probably
And that
Norway, mostly.
boggles my mind.
They're taking lactate and they're checking lactate and they're listening to our podcast.
They're just listening to my training every time. They're
Yeah.
scouting me. Yeah.
Now, we're by no means a Joe Rogan experience or, fill in the blank, whatever. Exactly. But I mean, it's kind of fun. Thousands of people listen to this thing every week, and I get a kick out of it. And I don't know, I just would like to maybe see if we can get a few more people to listen.
What are we going to do for 400?
We should bring on an international guest.
What's that?
Cruise. Someone said cruise.
We're going on a cruise. Live
in
podcast
Paris.
on a cruise ship to Hawaii.
I personally like Ben's Bottle Shop as like a venue
Yeah.
for our podcast.
This is great.
For our big whatever.
Yeah.
Milestone podcast.
Yeah, I really do want to do a live podcast watching the Tour de France and have people come join us. That would be a lot of fun too. So maybe we can try and make that happen for this coming year.
Yeah. Could we? Is there any of those that are going to finish in the evening when like it's acceptable to be drinking alcohol?
I think we should
like,
plan doing the time
past
trial. The
5
day of
PM?
the time trial.
The time trial, the last time trial one would be like,
which would be
right?
7 a.m.
Don't you feel like
4
that-
a.m.
4 p.m.
I don't want to be.
We forget that they go every 30 seconds for a while.
Yeah.
The last hour of the time trial would be awesome.
Because I think that has a lot of potential. This Tour de France actually, in my
There could
opinion,
be
has
4
so
guys.
much potential.
There could be 4 guys
to be
going
good.
toe to toe. That time.
I know. Could be really, really fun.
Unless Vanco ruins it for everybody. But,
Or some other random person. You have to pick someone much more random.
Egon Bernal.
There you go. Egan Bernal.
What do you guys want? What do you guys want to do? Something that you got, up your sleeve?
I'm excited about the tour coming up, and I want to do what we've done in the past, which is like kind of do a morning where we watch a big stage and do a live broadcast. That's fun. Mm-hmm. As long as we can turn around and get it published, relatively soon, so people can kind of listen along and watch.
Yep,
that'd be a lot of fun.
We can do that. Technology will allow us to do that, man. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. We can invite some more people on. I mean, we have access to people.
Huh.
So,
Lance Armstrong.
Whenever
asking who should we have on as guests?
I know we can get DC Rainmaker, who does like a lot of technology review stuff, and he's happy to come on and talk. But I would like to do that around a product announcement, like if there's a new bike computer or something like that that's big, like a big Garmin announcement that he would be fun to have on, and it'd be cool to have him on live too, like if we can someday, like if he's in the area, bring him in.
Yep. Cool. All right. Well.
Or at least we can call him in.
All good stuff.
Yeah.
Who's your dream guest?
My dream guest?
Yes.
Oh, geez. I'm sorry.
What
Say
was
again.
that?
Mark Cavendish.
Cavendish.
I would
he's not
actually. I would quite enjoy that.
He's not doing anything.
I would
His
turn him
schedule's
down.
pretty open.
I'd be like, no.
No. Cavs washed up. We need to hear that.
You can't argue with like having like a Wout van Aert or like a Peter Sagan. I'd love to have Peter Sagan on because I just want to hear stories from that guy.
I think our odds of getting Sagan are better than Wout. Wout seems busy these days. He's riding his bike a lot. Sagan's probably gonna be riding his bike way less here coming up.
So something along those lines I think would be pretty fun.
I think anyone that does a podcast would actually. There's a guy named Jertaint. You guys might not have heard of him.
Garrett Thomas?
No.
Oh,
Sorry. Work on your
Jertaint
if you can
Thomas?
try to nail the pronunciation. But any of those guys, you'd be surprised to know like that they're willing to hop on other podcasts if they do their own and they kind of get it. Like they're like, yeah, these people have a podcast and they're.
We've had Ian Boswell on.
Yeah.
Do you know
exactly.
who would actually be somebody at that level of popularity that would consider it? Because I know this through Kit. That Kit has met him multiple times. Is Jans Voigt.
Jans
Oh, wow.
Voigt.
So Jans does.
That would be amazing.
He's very
kind of
easy to get along.
the dude.
And also a hilarious guy. Very easy to talk with.
Sure.
He is a firecracker. He was one of the most liked guys in the peloton at his time.
If you guys don't know who he is, he's the guy that had like on his bar or stem or whatever, he had shut up legs, and that he made that famous.
Yeah.
And wow, he would be super cool to have on.
Yep.
Well-read individual.
Yes.
What?
Who?
Yeah.
Chris Horner? Is that what you said?
Chris Horner.
He is local. He lives in Bend.
Yeah.
All right.
Yep.
I agree with Jake on that
Jake
one.
doesn't like Chris Horner.
I don't like him either.
Dislike him. It's just like.
I would.
He's doing a lot of really good things for the cycling community in Bend.
He probably is.
at
He's
the
probably doing
moment.
great. He's probably doing
really
great
good
things.
You know who else did a lot of good things for the cycling community?
Lance Armstrong.
Although I would actually.
I can ping him and see if he wants to come on the show. We'll see.
I actually did. I sent
DM it.
Lance Armstrong a DM.
I'll call him.
It probably ended up in his junk mail and got deleted. So.
It's never opened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've sent out quite a few people that never responded. But that's how we got a couple people too. So yeah, cool. What else, boys? What else? Any other questions, Lance? You got any questions? Evan,
Nope.
you got any other questions?
That's good.
All right. Should we jump into the old one last thing? Wrap this bad boy up. Cool. Let's do it then. Matt, you always start us off with everything and everything.
Why do I always have to start?
Take the pressure off.
I have a couple videos that will come out soon, and one is a new heart rate monitor that is it's on that verge of like too smart, where it has like a little. I guess if you're in like Apple land, you would call it like a what is their little buzzer piece where you can perform those. They call it like a haptic feedback in Apple land. Anyway, so the heart rate monitor will tell you if you are below 140 beats or above 100.
Starts buzzing you?
It'll buzz you.
Can you have it shock you?
That sounds...
Zip, zip.
This sounds like a terrible idea, I'm going to be honest.
So
I would never feel that.
Talk about, like, white coat syndrome. How about, like, buzz? Oh, God, I got to calm down now. Let me worry about calming down.
So you can set your alerts, let's take Evan Price, for example, and he's like, this is supposed to be zone 2,
during
right?
this workout, that
right?
makes sense.
And you can
Okay.
say, like, I don't want my heart rate to go above 150 beats per minute. I'm just throwing a random number.
130 or 140, let's say.
Okay,
Yeah,
I'm just throwing a random number.
Buzz if I go
And you
over
can
that.
you can set it to be like, it'll buzz twice. If it goes below that, it'll buzz once if you're, below your lower number. You could set it to do that. You can also set it to your breathing rate. You can set it to you can set it to some other stuff. It's oddly too smart. Like I look in there and I'm like, it's just too complex for me, and I'm a tech person.
Yeah.
It'll give you an ECG readout of your entire workout.
Do you know what's amazing?
Which is wild.
How did people know that they were going easy before all of this,
No, you never
I mean,
knew.
it's incredible.
You didn't.
Did everybody just run
You never knew.
sprinting just all
Nope.
out? And then they were
Yep.
like, oh my gosh,
They
now
did,
I know
and-
not to do that.
Yeah, so we've learned a lot based on all of the technology.
It's amazing anybody ever got fast.
It's a very smart heart rate monitor. I'm trying to put together a video for that. I've been using it for about a month and a little bit. And my quick take on it is that it is very expensive. It is...
How expensive?
I don't actually remember the price.
Ballpark?
Enough
it's like
that he thought that's
200
expensive.
$200 maybe.
It's too expensive.
Yeah.
And
I
who's the-
just think that like heart rate monitors, and actually Lance is the person that I want to talk to about this. You can buy like a $35 heart rate monitor that'll do everything that you want. And when it gets destroyed because you've sweat on it too much, you throw it in the trash can, you buy another $25, $35 heart rate
I
monitor.
go through heart monitors about once every 6 months.
And you spend like
twice a
50
year.
or $60 on them,
Yes.
but you need to spend like half that price and just use it for what you want to do with it, which is wear it every day.
Yeah.
Right? You wear it on every ride.
How are you going through so many heart rate monitors? I've got the same one for granted, I haven't ridden 4 months, but
I
You have to
sweat
bike.
like a monkey in a bathtub. I just
Those damn monkeys in
Those
bathtubs.
monkeys in bathtubs, man, they sweat
Swimming
so
monkeys.
much.
I sweat like a swimming
Sweating
monkey.
monkeys over here.
If only they would turn the water off on those monkeys.
Turn the humidity down in this
I
bathtub.
sweat so much. So,
there
they finally just fail. They
There are
just-
cheap options out there that do exactly what you want to do, which is like Bluetooth output. And there are people that are like Evan that maybe want some more details, that like they want to swim with their heart rate monitor, which I know you don't actually
but
do.
yeah, Josh would.
Neither do I, but like then you can go a little bit more expensive and still not spend $250. So my ultimate take on that particular thing is going to be like,
too much.
this is amazing, but you don't. If you need this, you need it because you have ECG problems, as in like you have AFib when you exercise and you're trying to diagnose a problem, or you have AFib when you're sleeping and you want to diagnose this problem and you want a product that can help you with that. And that's a great product for that particular use case. And consult your doctor.
Yes.
And then
Yeah,
the
you
other
need a
video
cardiologist
that
first.
I'm probably working on is like this ring, and it's called the
Aura.
Ring. It's actually not Aura Ring. It's called Ring Con, and it's an Aura competitor. So track your heart rate and all those things, and mess with your drinks while you're
Clink it on
while
stuff.
You're,
It
clink,
looks
you
like
can
it-
clink.
It looks very clinkable.
It's very clinkable.
Yeah.
And for that, I also don't know the price. When you watch the video, I will have figured out the price.
Well, you just get
of
free
these
stuff like Matt
products.
does all the time. You just don't even look at the price tag anymore.
No, I don't look at the price tag anymore, and I do think it's better than like an Oura Ring because again, you don't have to pay a subscription fee to get your own data, which is like a knife in my back where it's like, here's this product, pay us to see your actual data.
Yeah.
I have a problem with that, and I'm gonna have a YouTube channel that's just anti. Screw you for subscription model service fees, and that's what my whole YouTube channel is about. Subscribe if you're interested.
There you go.
There you go.
All right.
One last thing.
What you drinking over there again?
All the drinks. I'm not drinking. Let me just tell you what I'm not drinking. I'm not drinking Liquid Death. Severed lime.
Severed lime.
Okay. I don't know. I was just thinking that.
I'm all jacked up on Mountain Dew.
Oh yeah. Because I got cranky. You start talking about
You got all
subscription
animated, didn't it?
services, and I get cranky.
One last thing. Because
thing.
subscription services could have been the whole topic.
I know. I could go on and on.
Evan Price, one last thing.
I know probably the next podcast I'll be able to be on, which will be the first week of December.
Oh.
Guaranteed.
Are you gonna have-
I can guarantee it. Yeah.
All right.
Guarantee.
Mark it down.
You
Yeah.
staying home for the holidays?
We are staying here for Thanksgiving, and then we're going to California for a couple of days for Christmas.
Sweet.
But yeah.
You should come over for Thanksgiving.
Cool.
Yeah.
Good times could
Yep.
be had.
We will. Yeah.
Lance Hepler, one last thing.
I don't really have anything to talk about other than I just wanted to thank my podcast partners for allowing me to invite
Hundo.
myself onto the podcast.
I've
This
only
is-
invited myself over for 300 times.
296 podcasts.
We keep trying to be like, oh, Lance, can you make it?
Lance.
Oh, because that's the date.
You have to.
You can't make it that
I
day.
can't-
Sorry.
sorry.
We have to re-celebrate this in four podcasts again
that's-
for
yeah,
Lance.
Four
Well,
podcasts.
Yeah, that's true.
But thank you guys for allowing
How
me
many
part of this.
podcasts do you think you've missed?
The least.
Probably.
Not many.
Well, Jake, obviously.
No,
but
Jake's,
yeah.
Jake's
zero.
That goes
Jake
without
is
saying.
zero.
Yeah, that,
We have
that goes,
done
that
this
goes without
without
saying
Jake.
because the podcast cannot happen.
Because all of this, I have no idea.
We
none of us-
we
none of
don't
us
we
do.
don't operate without Jake.
This is all magic. We have no idea how this works. There was once I tried to watch you set up. You looked like you knew what you were doing, and then it was all wrong.
I screwed it up. I plugged the wrong things into the wrong places. So thanks, Jake, for doing all the work.
Thanks, Jake, for 300 podcasts. 250 of which
We're
it's
just-
about where I am. I bet like each of us have been 250, except for you.
No, you haven't missed that many.
I have missed that many. I'm like 200.
You're
probably.
way out.
This,
You're
this
way
is
off.
the fourth time you've been here this
There was
year. Evan.
2019. I was like
You were on.
every single one in 2019. So. And through the no, actually during the pandemic, I was guaranteed there on every single one because
Yeah.
we were in the same building.
I uploaded a podcast from a hospital bed once.
Yes, you did.
Like,
He's
can't
like,
miss
He's like
this
this. He's
recorded
like,
it.
click. Oh, I can't move that shoulder again for another 4 hours.
This is true. This is
Yeah,
true.
but we got it out.
Cool.
Or, no, you got it out. It's
Yeah.
all good. That's it.
My one last thing. It's always a couple things, right?
I know. What's the matter with you?
Well, first and foremost, I want to thank everybody who's been joining the Dialed Cycling, not the team one, but the Dialed Cycling Slack page. That's been really well, populated. There's been a lot of requests coming through, so thank you to everybody that's doing that. And anybody who is interested in joining the Dialed Cycling Slack channel so that you can be part of the community, you can go to dialedcycling.com, and under the fun stuff, I believe there is a link right there that you can just click on the Slack and fill that out. So there's that. The other thing that's just kind of fun, it's actually turning into like a fun little thing on the site, because we alluded to this whole I got way too many videos kind of thing. And we've been uploading them to this Dialed, actually we call it DCT Rides YouTube channel. And I've been putting up so many videos there. And then we had a request, Randy Frost. What was it that you requested for a video? Get your...
Just the rider.
Okay. Go check your phone and tell me about the video they just finished uploading about 30 or 40 minutes ago. There's a video on there with some ride metrics for you now. So made that happen for you this
Yes,
afternoon.
I see it. Jake, you've got it up with ride metrics.
Yeah, so
we can see how fast you're riding and
it's heart rate and power and speed and
Yeah, she
a
started
few
doing
things.
some KOL attempts with that.
That could be fun. So, anyway, that's actually been kind of fun, and we'll just keep plugging this away. It was something in the neighborhood of like almost 8 terabytes of just ride footage. That's a lot, you guys.
Yeah, it's doing well.
That's a lot of
But
terabytes.
it's not meant to
promoted
do
at all.
anything. I'm just putting it up there for a lot of people to see because I didn't want to delete them. It's like, I've got all these videos and they're taking up all of this room on this hard drive. I didn't want to pay for another hard drive because I'm running out of room. I didn't want to pay to store them on a cloud service somewhere. I'm like, I'll just upload them to YouTube. It's free. They can live there forever and people can see some stuff. And I just started originally just uploading like basic videos, and now I've got it to the point where I can like just throw it into Final Cut Pro and put a picture in there, and you can kind of play with that. And then Randy's like, well, it'd be great if there was some ride metrics. I'm like, dang it, that's another thing I'm going to do. But he's 100% right. It's so much better. So we'll do that. But it's just kind of working in the background while I'm working. So it's been a lot of fun.
Awesome.
So if you're interested in looking at some ride videos, and going forward too, like when we start doing the rides in the spring again, that are going to be the weekly rides or any rides that happen in between then, and we talk about them on the podcast, you can actually go in there and reference said videos, and it should be fun to watch.
What's nice is it's the 360 video, so you can you get this really wide view of the
There's some
the
of
ride.
both. There's GoPro videos
Yeah,
and
sure,
360
but
videos.
even GoPro videos are really wide angle.
Yeah.
So
yep, it's just been kind of fun. You can go in there and see what we're talking about with respect to the vlog.
like that's a 360 view right there.
Yep.
You don't have that angle from a GoPro.
Nope, it's fun. So, yep. Anything else? Any one last things from any of you guys out there that came in? Oh, that's well
ugly
played.
Christmas sweater?
The Ugly Christmas Sweater ride will be the first Saturday in December. That is coming up. I've actually kind of alluded to that a little bit on some of our Slack channels, but yeah, that's coming up. And
Are we going to do the
3 weeks.
standard? We used to go ride from Hopworks and go out to like Vancouver waterfront.
Yeah, we kind of stopped going out that direction, and we've got, I think since the pandemic, we've been just staying in Camas proper, and we've been going to like Hidden River Roasters and doing that as well. So, and there's a new donut shop in downtown Camas too. I don't know if you've been.
Important.
Yeah, so donuts and coffee, we can work that in, keep it in Camas. So.
Cool.
But yeah, we'll get that going. Hey, again, thank you everybody who showed up today. We really appreciate that. It was something we kind of put out there with not a ton of notice, and there's a fair amount of people here, so I'm excited about that. We do appreciate everybody listening, and I appreciate these three guys sitting next to me. Wouldn't be the Down Podcast without you. So 300 of these, it kind of spins my mind. It's kind of crazy to think that it's been 5.5 years that we've done this, and we've kind of not missed any weeks. There was one week in there where it was kind of a great thing. Matt understands this from his video stuff.
Yeah,
when he puts
yeah.
out a video, like there's sometimes you kind of move some things around, so it didn't fall within the actual week, but it still went up there. But
Close enough for government work.
Exactly. We haven't really missed a week in 5.5 years, guys. This is pretty awesome. So thank you. And all the patrons, thank you to all of you guys and everybody that's listening. We really appreciate that. On that note, that's a wrap. 300 in the
Thank
book.
you guys so much.
Awesome. Thank you very much. We will be back with another one of these next week. And until then, bye for now. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the Dialed Podcast. I'm Jake Von During, and today I'm here with Mr. Matt LeGrand.
Hey, how's it going?
And Mr. Evan Price.
Hello.
And our very first special guest, Dr. Lance Hepler.
I am a super genius.
What's everybody drinking today?
You guys are looking good.
All right, that's enough. We will be back next week with another one of these. Thank you for listening, and until then, bye for now.
Team Dialed can bring me to victory, right?